Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the I Foxy Juice podcast. I am your host, Juice, and I'm here with my co-host, the Macy Chiasson roast to my Valerie Loretta TikTok video. Rain, what's up, Rain?
Oh man, is Val getting the Rachel treatment now? Have you seen some of the messages that's been going around on Twitter?
Of course, I've seen him because I watched Valerie and I can't avoid him now. So yeah, it's sad. These motherfuckers are ruining my vibe, man.
She's getting hate too.
Here's the reason I've never really had too much of a problem with Loretta. It's not just that she's natural, and it's not just that I think she's prettier than Ostovich and not plastic. That's another thing. She's fucking young, like really young, like younger than Ostovich, and doesn't have kids, and is only like 2 fights in her MMA career. So I'm still like weirdly optimistic that she can maybe become somebody. What somebody means, I don't know. Whether that means a champion or a contender or just a action fighter. I don't know what she can become, or shit, she can call it quits in like 3 or 4 fights. But I haven't been too harsh on her because she's so young in her career. Like that's about it. But I definitely get the distaste for some of the videos. I definitely got Macy Chiasson's points, even though I don't fully agree with them.
Yeah, I'm not hating on Valerie either. I mean, the only thing I hate on is that, yeah, sometimes she got dirty feet. You know, maybe I don't know if it was a period stain on one of those white couches or stuff. It was a photo that was taken a while back, I noticed, and other people pointed out too. So I do hate like that. If she wants to do her thing, go ahead. I have no fucking problems with it. But she should be prepared for any kind of, reaction towards it, though. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
So,
yes.
Right. So, I mean, and the way she handled that reaction, not too well when Macy and her were going back and forth.
You can't put yourself out there like that and not expect some kind of criticisms or some kind of comment like that.
Oh, yeah. I was wondering when it was going to happen because it's been happening to Rachel, right? We looked at it a while back as well. We were talking shit on this platform because that's what we do. And then we started noticing a change in how MMA Twitter was viewing her. And then here, Val is now the next one.
MMA Twitter got woke all of a sudden. I don't know. Can you call it woke? Because that's the thing. That's like the whole debate here. Some people were saying it's like it's valid to criticize her because it makes women look bad, and then others are saying like let women do whatever the fuck they want. I guess it's two schools of thought. I don't know if I fall in either. I see both points. I think I'm more in the let women do what they want thing. But I definitely got Macy Chiasson's point, specifically in the women's MMA front, that yeah, this is like the early Strikeforce, Elite XC. Well, okay, I don't want to put Strikeforce like that because Scott Coker is a good promoter, but like Elite XC, some of the shitty promoters, all they wanted was like relatively decent looking girls with quote unquote assets to be able to fight just a bit. They don't even have to fight good as long as they look good because they're in like tiny outfits and shit. And Loretta fits that to a T, but she's actually is a good fighter, and as she said, she has been a martial artist basically her whole life. But the way she's been going about it lately, it's like I understand the distaste. Again, the thing is too, again, like she's young, and it's not just the fact that she's young in her career; she's just young in general. And young girls seem to love the TikTok videos and those type of things, the social media. So I can't fault her too much. She just I've been under the assumption that she's not the wisest person for a few months now, and she definitely showed it in her replies to Macy.
Yeah, she's definitely in that generation. It's like, look at me. Here's my video. This is what I'm doing. This is my status. So, but yeah, I get both sides of the coin on this. especially with, trying to get the sport, making the sport popular, looking at it more as a sport rather than just, women fighting, half naked. No, they really want to be taken seriously. So I do see both points, but I mean, just if you're proud of it, then definitely continue to do it. So Valerie, if you're proud of it, go for it. It's your platform, it's your body, do what you want. But at the same time though, just maybe learn from some of the reactions you get instead of just like really lashing out, because the way you react, you're going to get criticism too, and maybe just learn from it, because you do have such a high platform and we do want to see you succeed. Like, you're in Bellator, right? You're with ATT, you come from a really great gym, you have this awesome background. Like, we would love to see you fight. Maybe that's what we need to see too. It's like a really good fight with her, because it's been a while, right? She's been on that reality show, and she's been out for a while. She's been injured. The pandemic's here. Like, we haven't seen her fight ever since her debut.
No, she fought twice. She had the debut early last year, and she fought, I think, in October, November.
Okay, right before that reality or show or something.
And then she was supposed to fight at the Forum fight in January, but that's when she got hurt. But she was still at the fight, which kind of weirded me out. But I don't know. I think it was like an ankle injury. It wasn't too serious according to her. I don't know. Again, she's young, so maybe there's things she just got scared because she thought it might be too serious. And the thing is, the big difference here to me between Ostovich and Loretta is that I know that Ostovich has way more fights, but the record shown, she's not that great a fighter. And Loretta, even though she's 2-0, I mean, she's looked good. And that's the other thing. Loretta can go undefeated for quite a long time, if not maybe possibly even her whole career, because she's in Bellator and because Scott Coker knows what he's doing. And Scott Coker has no problems picking up cans wherever he fucking roams to make his fighters look good. She could be on the MVP trajectory, just like 15-0, 16-0, and then she might run into somebody that might actually give her problems. But I have no doubt that she can actually make a good run at this for a while. I don't know if she'll become champion again. Like you said, she trains at ATT, so I know she's got good coaches. It's just a matter of how much work she's willing to put in. And maybe that's why at the end of the day, fundamentally, people have a problem with these types of videos and all that, is that she's wasting time on this when she could be spending time improving. And at her age, all she can do is improve. So I definitely get that.
Yeah.
Two final things regarding this. I guess the new debate is regarding the queen, Amanda Nunes. She made a video possibly mocking Loretta. I don't know if it was in jest or as a friendly snide. What do you think? I guess that's the question that's been out there ever since that video got posted.
Well, I thought she was mocking her because I heard that she deleted it right after she posted it. But you sent it to me and I was still able to view it. So
I think she deleted it like way after, like a few hours after. I don't think she deleted it like 5 minutes later. I don't think it was like that.
Oh, okay. So yeah, my first initial thoughts were she's mocking her, she's making fun of her. Because I mean, there's gym animosity. There's gym animosity everywhere, I think.
And there's a lot of girls. There's a lot of girls in that team, and a lot of good girls too.
Yeah, I'm not trying to talk shit, but they want to be taken seriously, but just certain actions, they're not by their male counterparts. And yeah, I thought maybe that had something to do with it, and maybe she was making fun of her. But when you said something, I was like, oh, maybe they're just, they're just playing around and messing around because they know that Amanda can't really dance.
How odd is that a Brazilian girl doesn't know how to dance? It was so awkward, but that's the whole thing. It's like, I think that's why I took it as she's making fun. It's like, look, I know I can't dance, but I'm going to try my best.
Right. So later on, I thought about it. I was like, yeah, you're probably right.
But then again, she deleted it. And I guess the question is, too, did she delete it because she felt bad because she was making fun of her, or did she delete it because she was embarrassed?
Right, yeah. Yeah, who knows that? I mean, I guess Nina got a good chuckle about it too. But it was good to see her dancing. She's going to be fighting soon.
Yeah, and gotta keep Mama Bear, Nina, happy too.
Yep.
And the last thing, Macy Chiasson without without a doubt, gets our first ever Player Hater of the Week award. I really want to get more of these out, and I'm not even saying this as a pejorative. As you well know, we love Chappelle's show here, and the Player Haters Ball is one of our favorite sketches. And when the hating is in good taste, we're fans. And I think in this one, although I think there was real animosity there, she made some real good points. So Macy Chiasson, Player Hater of the Week.
Congratulations. Is this the first time we're like putting this award out?
I think so.
Okay, she our first one.
Yeah, we'll post it somehow, but yeah, we'll have to make like a GIF or a meme or something. But we'll work on that later. But anyway, that was our little intro. Welcome back to reality, I guess. We're going to go straight into the MMA talk, all the news and previews and all the good stuff you like. So let's jump into it with our preview of the, I don't even know what to call it anymore because everything's going to be at the Apex. So the Tyron Woodley versus Gilbert Burns fight. We got a few fights to cover there. So let's start with that. We're not officially covering this fight, but I did want to throw in a mention here to a fight happening between Daniel Rodriguez and Gabriel Green. This is going to be early on in the prelims. Daniel Rodriguez was supposed to fight Kevin Holland, which should have been a great fight as it was, but now he's fighting this newcomer, Gabriel Green. If you guys don't remember Daniel Rodriguez, he beat the fucking shit out of Tim Means in December. It was a scary-ass sight. He's a scary-ass looking dude, too. He looks like every SoCal Cholo you've ever met, but he can actually fight.
He was bad, huh, that night?
Yeah, that was a crazy fight, man. I mean, you can't fuck around with Tim Means. You're in there to fight. And he took his, and he took it to Means and fucking got it done, man. I did became a hero of mine that night.
Short notice fight against a vet.
And went to war with him as Means wants to do and still came out on top, which is pretty rare. This guy he's fighting, Gabriel Green, speaking of newcomers, he's one. And he's coming from the CXF/LXF promotion. Is a SoCal regional promotion here. I've been to one of their shows. I've seen some of their shows even online. Very exciting fighters that they have there. And he knocked out a guy here, Richard Leroy. He's from Van Nuys. He's from kind of around my way. He had one of the craziest fights I've ever seen on the regional circuit with Jalen Turner, who's now in the UFC. Dude was a legit crazy-ass action fighter. Super exciting. And this dude, Gabriel Green, knocked him out pretty badly, too. Once I saw that highlight, I was like, man, this guy might be pretty good. Even if he's not legit, he's at the very least going to be exciting. And against a guy like Rodriguez, this for sure should be fireworks. So I just wanted to throw that one out there, give those guys their props. But the first official fight we're covering is going to be Casey Kenny and Luis Smolka. And I'm a big Smolka fan. I know he's kind of had his ups and downs lately. I like Casey Kenny too, especially when he was in the LFA, but I know he's kind of had some weird decisions lately that, maybe he shouldn't have won. I don't know. I don't know what to make of this fight as far as like where the placement of where they're going to be at after this.
I'm not sure either, because Smolka's been looking pretty good ever since he got booted out of the UFC. He went on a run there. He came back. He's been looking good. He said that he got something up his sleeve for Kenny, so I'm not really sure. And then Kenny, he's been on a great run, but I guess he was he lost his previous fight?
Yeah, and he beat Roy Borg in his debut, but a lot of people thought he shouldn't have.
Wasn't Ray having weight issues? I mean, he always does.
He always does. So it's one of those things, like, honestly, I don't remember that fight too well, but I was one of those things like, yeah, dude, you can never make weight, so I'm not going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Fuck it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure either, but I am a Smolka fan, so I'm going to go with Smolka.
Yeah, me too. I won't be sad if Kenny wins, especially if he beats him legit. Because Smolka's one of those guys, as good as he is and as exciting as he is, when he goes out, like when he loses, it's usually pretty obvious. He doesn't really lose like close decision fights. Like he either gets finished or it's like a very clear-cut decision for the other guy. So interested to see how this will go. But yeah, Smolka's he's always been a favorite of mine for a while. Basically, since he Sweet Chin music, that one dude back in the day, I was like, I like this guy.
Yeah, it's probably going to go to decision, maybe.
Most likely. But again, Smolka's a exciting dude. Who the hell knows? Kenny's got some decent finishes too. So we'll see.
Yeah, tough dude.
Next up on the prelims, Katlyn Chookagian's going to fight Antonina Shevchenko. So 2 Shevchenko sisters in a row. Obviously, one is much better than the other, being possibly one of the greatest female fighters ever. And this one is her possibly adopted sister because they do not look anything alike.
Sisters ganging up on my Armenian sister, man. Why
Oh,
they
that's
gotta do
right.
my girl like that? Yeah, come on, man. What? Y'all are both Asians, you know that?
Are Armenians considered Asian?
Yeah. Yep. But we look
Well,
more white, so
I've always wondered if Russians are considered Asians because I know it's like technically Eurasia, but then again, there's some really Asian looking Russians too, like
yeah.
Siberians and shit.
Yeah, they don't really like look at it as some people don't, but it's either white or Asian. I mean, if
And
you
then
look at it, it's Asian.
and then Russia's like the funniest one because they literally like Khabib, the Caucasus Mountains. They are literally
Mhm.
Caucasian. Like that's like the origin. But yeah, I know, right? Russia's a weird spot. But yes, you're right. The Shashenkos are Asian, and yeah, I guess you're right. Shikagian has Asian background as well.
Ganging up on her. I don't know what to make of this. Like, I mean, Antonina, she's been looking good, man, and she submitted her. It is Lucia, though. Sorry. I forgot she fought Pudilova last time. She hasn't been looking good either, so.
Oh yeah, that's right. I keep on thinking she
Yeah.
lost to Modafferi. I know she did, but I kept on thinking that was her last fight. But no, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and then she had the Pudilova fight. I mean, that went to the second round and she finished her. Maybe they'll have the game plan to beat Chikugian because, her sister did fight her last and they're training partners, so they probably have a good game plan.
Who are you going with then?
Tunina?
I'm actually gonna go with your girl here. I'm actually going with Shikagian. Maybe it's just because I don't think that Antonina Shevchenko's a can. I don't think that she's a bad fighter. I think she's a really good fighter, actually. I'm still not sure about her in MMA.
Yeah.
She's hasn't shown me that she's a full MMA fighter. She's not her sister. And the thing with Valentina is like she's such a good striker that it translates into everything else, as I've said all the time. Shevchenko, she knows judo, she knows jiu-jitsu, she knows all the martial arts, but everything she does is basically Muay Thai. Even her takedowns, her clinches, it is all Muay Thai. She's that good at it that she can use almost exclusively Muay Thai and win. Antonina is an excellent Muay Thai fighter, but she's so by the book. Like
Yeah.
I think she still feels like she's fighting a Muay Thai fight with MMA gloves on, and I
Yeah.
have my reservations about her. Also, that she's not the youngest girl in the world and had a very long kickboxing career. I don't know how much she has left in the tank. And Shukagian, I think Mark Henry, given being her coach, he's a very good coach, a very smart guy, and I don't think he takes losses well. And I don't mean that he's like a sore loser. I mean like if when his pupils lose, he wants them to get back on track. I don't think he's just like, oh, you lost, let's just keep doing this. I think he's gonna try and find a way for them to improve. So I think Shukagian's gonna come back looking better than ever. I think she'll take it.
I hope so. She just reminds me of Holly sometimes. She'd be like punching the air a lot.
Oh yeah, when I first saw her, I'm like, oh, here's another Holly. She's blonde, long hair, the key eyeing, the missing, the kicking. I'm like, yeah, that's like mini Holly.
And then once Antonina can, possibly close the distance and get her in a clinch, then it'll probably be over because her clinch is strong. It's gonna be interesting, man. Definitely.
Yeah, Shukagian's strong though. I mean, she's not. I know she's not the biggest girl in the division, but she's pretty strong. And we saw like her fight with Liz Carmouche back in the day. I mean, she almost knocked her out with a head kick. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and she has some good exchanges with Joanne Calderwood too. She can pop. She can pop. She just needs to get her precision right and her timing right, which I know can be hard with Shevchenko, but it's possible. Next up, the main card portion, which is apparently on ESPN. I never know what the format's anymore. I basically still watch everything on ESPN Plus. But on the main card, Mackenzie Mama Dern is back again. She's gonna fight Hannah Cyphers. I think this fight is. I feel like this fight's been booked like 2 or 3 times. Am I tripping?
Was it on the books before? I can't remember.
Or
No, I don't think it was.
I don't know if it's because Cyphers takes on all the prospects, Macy Barber and Hebus, and she fights those type of girls, the ones that are supposed to,
Yeah.
be someone. So maybe that's why I feel like they've already been booked for this. But
I mean, they were booked April 25th, but it was canceled because of the coronavirus. So.
okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking about. So
Possibly.
technically, they probably have been booked, but very recently. So the easy pick here is Mackenzie Dern, but I don't know. Hannah Cyphers always surprises me in one way or another, and she's such a little scrapper. I know Dern's a bit of a scrapper too, and obviously she has her jujitsu, but I don't know. I take nothing away from her with that Amanda Hebus fight. Amanda Hebus is the truth. I don't even look at her as like that bad of a loss for her, especially with her coming back like right after having the kid
The
and stuff.
baby?
Yeah,
Right.
basically left the kid at the hospital and just started training and just she may have not picked her baby up, to be honest with you.
She was like pumping breast milk in between like breaks and training sessions and shit at the gym.
Yeah.
Come get this milk. Go feed the baby.
See, she's paying for it now though with the virus. You know, she's had to stay home now. Now she's got to take care of the baby.
Right? Yeah, this fight's gonna be interesting. I like it. I love Hannah Cyphers, but I'm just concerned about the size difference. It's that
Yeah.
size difference again.
Oh,
And then Mackenzie, she's a big
yeah.
strawweight.
I still argue that she's not a strawweight. Yes, I know she
Yeah.
for the last fight. Yes, I know, but she's such a big girl, man. She really Mackenzie's a different type of big. There's like girls like Claudia Gadelha who are possibly massive because they're just strong as shit. Dern's just thick, man, and I don't mean just in the Instagram THICC way. She's just dense. She's a big
Right.
girl. You know, it's not just all ass and hips. She's got actual muscle there too. She's legitimately strong.
Yeah.
She's just built differently. So yeah, again, I'm with you. I like Cyphers too. She's a hell of a scrapper. I wouldn't be too surprised if she wins, but I think Dern takes it.
Yeah. I got burned too. We'll see though. I mean, she's not breastfeeding anymore, is she? She had that to her advantage with her weight cuts last time, I believe.
I think she.
So I wonder.
I could be wrong. Didn't she have her kid like last March? I think the kid's probably like at least a year old now.
Okay, so yeah.
She's probably still breastfeeding. Probably.
Maybe. I don't know. Sometimes people go a long time, so
Yeah.
We'll see, man. She's a big girl. She knows how to use her weight.
Yeah.
So, yep. Good for her. That was quick. Quick turnaround.
See, people, we may talk shit about the Rachel Osviches and Valeritas and whoever else might be on the docket here, but we changed our minds on Dern. We were the biggest haters of Dern, but we changed our minds on her. So
yeah, she's fighting. She's trying.
So Ostovich, there's hope for you. Well, maybe not much, but there's hope. There's a glimmer of hope for you.
I know, right? Don't be showing up at events here and there and not fight. Didn't she show up at Australia?
New Zealand, I think.
New Zealand, that's right.
Yeah.
Like, okay, man. All right. Anyways.
anyway, correct. So another fight. This should be fun. Roosevelt Roberts taking on our boy. Well, our boy, but also potentially a dog fighter, Brock Weaver. I came across an article lately. I wasn't aware of this, that some people thought that he was fighting his dog.
He was what?
Yeah, that I guess he has like I don't know if they're pit bulls, but he has a bunch of dogs, and he had like an Instagram story where one of his dogs had like his ear kind of like nipped, and people were like, "What's up with your dog?" And he kind of sort of admitted that him and his friend or him and his cousin were fighting their dogs, but according to him, it wasn't like Michael Vick status, fucking sticking the chain on him and shit like that. I guess it was like a friendly contest. I don't know. It was a weird story, but
wait, they're making their dogs go to battle to see who has the tougher dog?
Apparently he was saying something that like his friend or his I forget who the other guy was, the friend or the cousin, the dog was quite aggressive and he would like take his food and this and that, and I guess they figured that this would be like just maybe he'll, if he does this and he fights back, he'll probably stop doing that shit.
Oh god.
But yeah, not a good look. Not a good look. And when people have like that many dogs, especially like pit bulls, I always get concerned. And he is from the South. And that's something not a lot of people talk about. That shit happens in the South a lot. But I'm gonna ignore all that because Brock Weaver's just scary as fuck and he's cool as hell. So until I see real videos of him hanging dogs or something, I'm still gonna be a fan. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm just yeah. But
He's
that is
such a character.
yes, he's exactly that, but not in a Colby Covington way. You know,
Right. Yes.
that's a different type of character.
Oh yeah, that's an act.
Yeah.
Weaver's
Well, yes, yes.
Weaver is that's him. You get him 100% and then some. Oh, this will be a good fight. And the last one was ended in a DQ. Illegal
Yes.
knee.
Yeah. But he remember
Horrible.
he owned it. Remember he was just like, I didn't win that fight. He did. He did because the guy got disqualified. He cost himself that fight.
Yeah.
But he said that I did not win that fight. That was not a real win.
Yes, it was on the same card as Diego.
Oh yeah, yep, yeah. That was a weird thing. Like yeah, 2 DQs in a night. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, it's gonna be a banger, man. I don't know who to choose though.
That's it's funny. Like you were talking about Weaver being a character. I mean, I don't. Roberts is not like doesn't have this exuberant personality or nothing, but he's just like such a pro.
Mhm.
He's always just getting better. He reminds me of like a kind of like a Neil Magny type, one of those guys that just is quietly coming on the way up and is always minding his business and is always just focused on the win. I like
Yeah.
dudes like that, especially when I think he's like 29 or so. I don't think he's that young, but he's taking his career very seriously.
He's 26. He's still
Oh,
very,
oh, okay.
yeah, very, very young. Technical, calm, and patient versus like this chaos coming at you. This is going to be interesting.
Roberts has a bit of dog in him too, though, man. I've seen. I mean, like I said, I seen him on the regional circuit, or maybe I haven't mentioned yet, but yeah, I seen him one of his fights live when he was on the regional circuit, and he was both technical and pretty wild. He can kind of do both. I just don't think people in the UFC have seen it yet.
Maybe we'll see it
Yeah.
with this fight. I'm gonna go with Roberts.
Damn, I want to too because of that, SoCal connection and being at one of his fights and stuff early on. It's one of those things I'll kind of always root for Roberts because I saw him so early on. But I don't know. I just became such a big fan of Weaver after that last fight. It's gonna be hard for me to go against him for a while. I think until the video actually surfaces that he's killing dogs. And then we're gonna look back at this video and be like, oh fuck, Juice is a piece of shit. He was supporting a fucking dogfighting asshole or something.
We'll make a clip of it.
I don't know. I tend to believe him though. I tend to believe him because again, he's from the South. People are wild down there, and he probably saw nothing wrong with it. I don't think he's running a fucking ring,
Yeah.
That's just
God. You guys handle your business right now.
yeah.
Fight.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna like make it seem like he's just like some dumb kid or whatever. But honestly, he's still a young guy, young male aggression, testosterone. Guys do stupid shit, even up until their 30s, man. He was just probably being a fucking idiot.
Right, and you're in the South, all that space and not giving a damn.
Next up, I think it's like a hidden gem kind of fight. It's high up on the card, and a lot of people may not know these guys, but they're fucking. I think they're legit prospects, and this should be a really, really fun fight. I always love young prospects fighting one another, and this is definitely that. Billy Quarantillo, I don't know if it's Quarantillo or Quarantillo, is fighting Spike Carlisle. I became an instant fan of Billy Quarantillo when I don't even remember the little guy's name that he beat last, but it was a whooping and a half, man. Jiu-jitsu, striking, wrestling. He just put it on the kid. And Spike Carlisle, I know, has got some power and some highlight reel knockouts. It seems like a striker versus grappler type thing, but I'm with Quarantillo all the way here. I think he might be a legit contender here.
I'm gonna go with the Alpha Ginger then, just based on his profile picture on Tapology.
You definitely consider him an Alpha Ginger, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, no, I think Paul Felder is the Alpha Ginger, right?
Oh, he is the top, yes. He's like boss level.
But he's like, what, Spike's like right behind him?
Yeah, he's still young, so once Paul like retires, or when I retire him, he can take the first.
You're gonna retire him?
Level. I don't know. We'll see, man. He might not be fighting anymore. I don't really have any interest in men that don't fight.
Oh, damn, rain like that.
I'm kidding. Well, at least he knows how to fight, even though he'll be retired. So I won't be too hard on him. He's married, though. So what am I going to do?
Nah, I can see you like criticizing him because he's like rehearsing some lines because he's still a theater actor at heart. Like, go fucking train.
He's probably going to end up being an actor. Watch. He's probably going to be in movies soon. Watch.
He might be very good too. He's a very smart guy. He's a very
Mm-hmm.
smart guy. So yeah, who knows?
It might happen with him, dude, which will be a good thing. So
There's
he's
always
not
got to be.
yeah, not getting your head bashed in, and you have a little baby, you have a little daughter. So
There's got to be a ginger actor always somewhere in the mix.
yeah, but Spike, they actually named their kid Spike. Is this his real name?
It looks to be, yes.
A ginger with the name Spike.
And I think he's American, right?
Yeah, he is from. Let me see. He is from.
He's young too, though.
He's 27, and he's from San Diego.
I guess that kind of makes sense.
The training lab. Oh, okay. I didn't know they were still together. Training lab. Are they? Huh.
Who's that?
Isn't that with Ben Henderson?
Well, that's the MMA lab, but I think they're in Arizona.
Wait. Training lab. Who's training lab?
I thought the only teams in San Diego were Alliance and Hurricane Awesome. Those are the only ones I knew.
Oh, I don't know. Am I thinking Cub? No, that's not Cub either. I don't know who Training Lab is, actually. But yeah, he's from San Diego, though.
So based on profile pic and nickname alone, you're going with Spike, huh?
Yeah. This will be a banger, man. I mean, they've both been on like a crazy win streak. So this is like the sleeper fight on the card, I believe.
Yeah, like not a lot of people are gonna know their names, but I'm pretty sure they will after this fight. At least one of theirs, if they have like a show out performance. And finally, the main event: Tyron Woodley versus Gilbert Burns, 5-round welterweight fight. Former champion Tyron Woodley versus up and coming, contender now, no longer a prospect, Gilbert Burns. I know Woodley's got to be the favorite heading into here, but this is like straight up 50-50 to me. And for weird reasons too. Like I honestly think Gilbert Burns is a better fighter, and I'm just talking about skills wise. I'm not talking about his resume. Obviously, Woodley's got him beat big time there, but I think skill wise, Gilbert brings more problems to the table. Usually in these type of cases, I would be like Gilbert Burns all the way. Tyron Woodley hasn't fought in a long time. Who knows what he's gonna look like? But Woodley always seems to do his best coming off of a long layoff. So it's really hard to know.
Yeah, I don't know either. They're both strong as shit. God, I wonder how that exchange is going to happen once they get tied up. Woodley, he's been out for a while. He's 38. Gilbert's what, 32, 33?
Okay, so here's the thing. Like, these are the reasons I worry about Woodley. This is why I think that he could pull this off still. He was what? I think 34 when he won the title. So he was kind of old when he won the title as it was. Mm-hmm. But furthermore, he beat Robbie Lawler when everybody was scared shitless of Lawler, knocked him out in 3 minutes. And it was a 2.5 year layoff. He hadn't fought in 2.5 years, fought Robbie, and basically knocked him out with the first punch that he landed. And to follow that up with to further prove the he's good off of a layoff thing, he fought Darren Till off of what, a 14-month layoff, 14-month layoff, and obliterated the fucking guy when he was an underdog in that fight. So it's that type of shit that worries me. Like, I don't know why. Maybe he's just, when he doesn't have to think about fighting and he can just do a camp, and I don't know what it is, but he always does really good off layoffs. And then I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing that he's really been wanting to fight. I've kept thinking the past week, like, isn't it so ironic that Dominic Cruz, who fights once a fucking blue moon and is always hurt, and Tyron Woodley, who also always gets hurt and doesn't fight that often, both end up fighting within weeks of each other during a goddamn pandemic.
That is strange. Huh. Is Tyron Woodley still working on the desk, or what is he doing now?
I have no idea. I don't. Obviously, they're not with Fox Sports anymore, so I know that's what he had been doing. But he's not on commentary, and I know he never did like legit commentary. He was always like, yeah, on the booth. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I always see Chael Sonnen and who else? Like, I mean, I've seen Anthony Smith from time to time. Obviously, Cruz and DC and Felder, Bisping. But no, I can't. I can't think of other fighters on like on the booth without actually commentating on fights. I don't know what he's doing. But remember, he said that he blew his money very stupidly. So I think he needs this fight.
Yeah, he needs this fight, and then he also has been avoiding this particular person too. So I had that in the back of my head. Like, I wonder how he's going to be emotionally, because he can be an emotional guy, you know. He has this long layoff, and he's been putting off wanting to fight Burns because he's this up and comer. Like, he's on a fight win streak. He knocked out Damian Maya. Well, not technically knocked him out, but yeah, finished him off with the ground and pound. So my pick is Burns. I don't know about Woodley.
You know what? I think you just swayed me right now with Burns, specifically because of what you just said with yeah, Woodley was putting him off. He knows how dangerous this fight was, and it kind of reminds me of like the Joanna Wiley thing. You know, obviously there's not all the animosity and racism involved, but the yeah, like I don't want to give her the time of day because oh she's nobody. But once they have something you want, in this case a payday for Woodley, like well fuck it, I'll fight him. And I think that's a very big disrespect to most fighters. And a guy like Burns, he really wants to beat Woodley. He really wants to beat a former champion. But with that, it's like you weren't giving me the time of day before, but now all of a sudden just because you're broke, you want to fight me? Fuck you.
Right, exactly. He's so hungry, and he's been taking these short notice fights, and he's on this high. He has this, you know, his energy about him. And Tyrone, it's like he's been off the scene. His rapping career isn't that great. He's running out of money. Like, I just wonder where his energy is, where his spirit's at. So I'm going with Burns.
Reen, just full disclosure, I might just have to edit that last part out because you can talk about Woodley's fighting ability. You could talk about his reign as champion. You can talk about his age. You can talk about his family. You do not talk about the man's rapping career because he does not go soft with that shit. So for your sake, I may just edit this out. I don't ever want him to hear this. We don't need these kind of problems, Reen. We can take on Rachel. I don't want to take on Tyron Woodley for you. I'll just be honest here.
God damn it, man. I meant it though. I'd rather hear him rapping on repeat than hear Jessica I's fucking hoarse voice with that horrible chant she made up.
Oh,
It
don't worry.
sounds so awful.
Don't worry. We're gonna talk about I later.
Oh my god! Like, you should use that against terrorists or something. Just torture them with that.
Oh, we're gonna save some of this for later. But yeah, I think we just said the same thing right now. Yeah, Burns all the way. Seems like you agree with that point too of him kind of shining him off. So yeah, we'll see. Again, I hope this goes in the second round. I hope Burns is very careful. If I were him, I'd do like next to nothing for the first round to the point where like I have to get warned by the referee, like do something. That way in the second round, I can actually like, you know, maybe he's a little bit tired, maybe he's a little bit thrown off, and then you can capitalize. And then we'll see too with Woodley's wrestling. I know sometimes he doesn't wrestle all the time, but what's he gonna do with Burns, man? I know Woodley's a black belt too, but you can't fuck with Burns on the ground. He might be in trouble.
Interesting. Can't wait.
Burns is also starting to strike me as one of these like kind of Oliveira types, like Charles Oliveira. He's not the greatest striker in the world, but he's becoming a respectable striker. So if you get in trouble on the feet and you want to take him down, good luck. You know, it might be one of those type of things too.
Yeah, and he's been showing his other side. He's not just a ground fighter, not anymore.
Nope. So that does it for the preview. Let's get into some headlines. First up, I don't know if I'm cringing. I don't know if I'm laughing. I don't know if I'm mad. But we'll start with this patent issue. The UFC has decided to patent a few catchphrases and names, and one of them that apparently they've already filed with the patent office is UFC. SEA, as in the way that John Oliver was mocking them on last week tonight. They saw that and they said, "Yep, we're taking it. That's what we're gonna call Fight Island, I guess."
That's so funny, man.
I couldn't believe this shit was real.
It's interesting, man. So, do they really have this island together now? Now that they have this trademark filing going on?
You don't think it could still be a? Because you're not the only one. I've seen a few people online say that they kind of thought that the whole Fight Island thing was a ruse, that it was just for marketing and just to keep fans interested. I don't know. I mean, you could still be right. I don't know, but I think it's one of those things. If they haven't bought it, they have it like on reserve. They'll fucking rent it out, or they'll like, all right, if we really need some, we'll rent it out. We'll be in close proximity to where we can maybe get shit done in the day or two to move fighters if need be.
Well, with this ban from Brazil, the travel ban from Brazil, with that coming along, it just makes me wonder if this is really coming to fruition. Because how are we going to get these fighters out to the apex? And U.S. can't enter there, right? Nobody from the United States can travel there either, and they can't have fights there. Yeah, and especially now they have the most cases now, so they won't go down there and do anything. So I just wonder, like, how is this going to work? Because I had that thought too, like, okay, maybe because of this travel ban, they are going to move forward with this and try to make this work. Because who knows when Brazil is going to be normal again.
And you're just speaking of Brazil, but I know that was the whole thing with Dana. Why he said why he was interested in doing this was to give foreign fighters fights. But then you even look at a place like China's kind of been having an uptick of cases again. And then South Korea had a lot of cases the other day. So who knows? Or maybe some of the Asian, I know a lot of people think the virus is kind of out of Asia now and it's everywhere else, but even that's not the case. So what about some of the Asian fighters? And then I don't think Europe has exactly recovered yet too. And then there's like things like, now that Gustafsson's gone, I know there's not that many Swedish fighters, but Sweden's been taking the weirdest approach. They've been going all in with the herd immunity thing. And even if travel is allowed, maybe there's a lot of countries that don't want to go to Sweden because they think they're dangerous.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, they booked that Brian Ortega fight and Korean Zombie fight again. So I wonder if he's
really?
in Korea. Yeah. Somebody sent me info on it just now.
Oh, wow.
So I think it's already announced. Yeah, bjpen.com announced it.
See if he follows through, but that's a different story altogether.
So yeah, I wonder about him too, because the spike in cases that they had, because that one club goer that went to multiple clubs and they had a spike. So they're watching that closely. It might happen, man. I thought it was just a marketing thing. They're just fucking around with it because, I mean, they really had no plans. They weren't sure what was going to happen. We were still going through the handling of the pandemic. I don't know. It's going to be wild, though. I just wonder what's going to happen logistically when a fighter needs healthcare. That's all I want to know. That's great. They talked about having a facility where they can stay, a hotel. Great. I just want to know how they're going to get care. That's all.
Well, that's actually a good segue into the next topic. The UFC has enhanced their COVID-19 protocol for Fight Week. And I guess this is also what the state of Nevada has picked up, since they're going, the Apex is in Nevada and they're opening up as well. Mm-hmm. I don't know. To me, I read it and it looks good on paper. They're isolating before the testing, which I think is like the most logical thing. And they're doing at least 2 tests during Fight Week. Basically, once they get there and on before weigh-ins. But I guess a big issue, like in regards, like with Jacare, obviously we still remember his situation, was the timing. It's taking like 2 days for them to get back results. And I've been hearing a lot in the news that they're going to come up with like tests that you can get results in a few minutes. But I don't know. I don't know if they're going to have these tests. I don't know if that's even been out yet. I don't know.
I heard that those tests aren't exactly accurate either. Those instant ones.
Oh, well, that would make sense. Yeah.
So, yeah, like, that's great. upon arrival, they're gonna get tested, and then they're gonna have to like isolate and just stay with the cornerman, right? When they
Mm-hmm.
first get there. And then test two is what the hell is that protocol? Wait, no. Right before weigh-ins, right? Right before weigh-ins, they're gonna do it again. And weigh-ins is on what day? Thursday?
Friday. Friday.
Friday. Thursday, Friday. Is that enough time? Wait, when are they going to start testing?
That's
Do
the
they
whole.
have to
Yeah.
get there on Monday?
Well, that's usually how fight week is. I mean, people come in at different times. Sometimes
Yeah.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. By Tuesday, for sure, you got to be there. Well, in a typical fight week, I don't know about now.
Yeah, seriously. Like, how are they coming in? Like, are they going to come in a week before? Or are they already there? Like, what's going on? Well, it's Thursday and we're recording, so they should be there. But yeah, I wonder how they, like, handled it prior to. It's crazy to me that they're doing this, but hey, it's Las Vegas. It's in their backyard, so hopefully they can make a smooth transition from Florida to the apex.
I tweeted when it first came out. And granted, I didn't read it when it came out, but my first instinct was it's a fucking speed limit sign.
What is?
The protocol. I mean, I guess
Oh
now
yeah.
that Nevada's involved, I feel less so that way. And also the fact that I'm still working, I think is also like open minded. Trust me, there's a lot of companies out there doing their utmost due diligence and being fucking Orwellian sometimes with their enforcement of the social distancing and mask and the whole deal. But looking at the UFC, looking at especially Dana White and some of, I don't think they're gonna take it that seriously. If it's a self-governing thing, I don't think they're gonna take it that serious. I think they're gonna do the same shit that they did with the 249 card. But now Nevada's involved, the state of Nevada's involved, and I guess they have a lot to lose, especially if they shut down again. So maybe this means they will follow through.
Are they completely opened up now?
I don't think entirely. I've heard weird things, man. Obviously, we saw from last week that, well, not just the Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri, but there was that hairdresser who got a bunch of people sick because she was working while sick and in a salon. I know firsthand because I have family there and because of my girlfriend as well, because she does too, that bars in Utah are open. So Utah is basically like almost all the way open. Churches are open and bars are open, which we know how problematic that is. And I thought of all places, Utah is the one place where they'd be like, yeah, maybe not bars right now. But yeah, with Nevada, I don't know. I'm gonna say that I think Nevada's kind of on the same trajectory that California is. Maybe they're like slightly ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
Oof.
I don't know. Because then with Nevada, you got to think about casinos. Obviously, they got to open those up at some point. And I don't know if they've opened them up yet. Well, but then again, even here in LA, well, not LA, it's SoCal. Morongo Casino has been open for like a week already.
What?
Yeah.
People are going in?
I don't know to what capacity, but it's been open for at least a week.
That shit scares me. Just the slot machines and people going from machine to machine and just touching stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I know they're open though. I know they're open. I don't know to what capacity. Honestly, I don't even know if people are going because Morongo's out in the middle of fucking nowhere. It's not like, hey, we're in town, let's go to like, no, you basically only go to that part of SoCal to go to Morongo. So
Okay. Interesting.
and I know in your case, Reen, you must be really worried because you know how much Asians love casinos.
Dude,
Yeah.
they go busful. Like,
Yes, I know.
full of them. Like, it is an event.
I know.
I always say, like, my auntie's in there right now. Every time I like pass a
Oh
casino, I'm
God.
always like joking around, like, oh yeah, man. like, whose auntie isn't in there? You know what I mean? Every fucking weekend, man. It's an event, so scary.
I know. I know that there's a reason why I'm worried about the casino thing too, but I don't really know. I don't really have too many friends or family that gamble like that. But I know with you, I'm like, yeah, that's coming from a place of familiarity.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
I guess to keep on the coronavirus subject, because again, we can never really escape this shit right now. Andre Pederneiras, head coach of Nova União, Jose Aldo's basically lifelong coach, has tested positive for COVID-19. Apparently, he's asymptomatic. He's quarantined, but it was scary to read. Apparently, the only reason he got tested because I guess he did keep the gym closed. It seems like he had been doing his due diligence, but little known thing with Pederneiras, he is a bit of a, I don't want to say philanthropist because that makes him sound like he's some like George Soros type character, but he does give back to the community a lot, and I guess he'd been giving people food, which is obviously very admirable. But he thinks maybe while going out in one of those times he may have gotten sick, and the only reason he got tested was that it seemed like his wife and kids were kind of getting sick, and that worried them, and that's what prompted him to get tested. And it seems like he's the only one that got sick. Well, tested positive anyway, so he's quarantined. It seems like his family is okay, but I couldn't tell for sure.
Dang, that's so scary. Just the things that are happening in Brazil right now. Like, I think about the fighters. Like, are they going to be okay? Especially like Charles Oliveira, man. All those kids, man. Oh, God. Yeah, it's just scary. Scary,
It's just,
scary, scary.
I've had a lot of criticisms of Pederneiras. I mean, they still kind of hold true, but it's good to
Mm-hmm.
know that he's still been that guy that always gives back. Like, that's obviously who he is. That's not just because, oh, when I first got money or when I first got famous in Brazil, I did my part and that was that. Like, he's still giving back. So very, very admirable in him, especially in times like these. It just sucks he got sick while he was trying to do something good.
Yeah. Not Charles Oliveira, Alex Oliveira, I mean.
Oh,
Cowboy.
Cowboy? What?
Yeah.
Wait, did he
Because
get
remember,
COVID?
he has all those kids in different places of residence, right? Because all the baby mamas, and I
I,
wonder how he's doing down there with his kids and situation.
You don't think you think he's taking these baby mamas to the new Brazilian motel, the MMA themed motel?
I hope not, given his history.
Oh, that's morbid. But good segue either way, Reen. I'll just give you credit for that. There is now an MMA themed motel. I don't know if it's motel or hotel in Brazil. My biggest question with here is I don't know how long it's been up. I don't know if this is something that just opened up like a month ago or like pre-quarantine, like like maybe like 3 months ago, or if it's still in development. But seeing the pictures, I don't know. It's a round bed. There's an octagon around the bed. There's even a heavy bag and a grappling dummy. I don't know what you're supposed to do with those, but I'm just wondering who's actually going to go there. I know MMA is big in Brazil, and obviously I'm putting the whole coronavirus thing aside because this is under the assumption that people are actually going to go there in mass. I'm still wondering who the fuck's going to go there because MMA fighters, I have no doubt they will not go there. But I'm starting to think of like the fans or just shit, even the casuals. Like, who's going to go there?
The fans might go because it does look like there's an octagon, right? I
I'll
mean,
be
you can enter from one side, you can enter from the other. There's like, yeah, but the entire thing, you're inside an octagon with the bed in the middle.
I'll be honest, the setup is pretty cool. I mean, they have a red corner and a blue corner and lights. Like it looks
Mm-hmm.
some semi legit.
Yeah, that's cool, man. If I was single and I had a whole bunch of money, maybe I would have like a spare room like this. I don't know, cause I'm crazy like that. I'm like, I got my gym and my bed in here. What's up?
Gonna take a guy in there?
Maybe.
You know, they're gonna freak him out.
I used to own a gym.
Mm.
I used my gym before. But that's a different story. But anyways, it's just a little tea for you guys. But yeah, I mean, it looks cool. I wouldn't go in it to use it in particular. I have been in these types of rooms before in Japan. They have certain themes. I'm familiar with them. They are fun. But in this situation, though, it doesn't look fun to me. I wouldn't pay to go there.
What do you mean in this situation?
Just the whole setup. This is not my thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if it was
What
set up with like stars, looking like the stars or something, or it looks a little romantic, then yeah. And that's what I'm familiar with. They have shit like that in Japan. They have all
what
these different setups.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, what are the themed rooms in Japan? I mean, I know they have themed rooms even here. They're just kind of rare, but like, what are the themes in Japan?
You could be like jungle, galaxy, you know. There could be like a karaoke machine in there. Yeah,
Oh,
you can
okay.
just all these different set up these different themes, and you can just pull up to a hotel and then just pick out which one you want. It's almost like going through a drive-through. Like you have this panel where you could just check it out and see which one you
Oh
want.
shit.
And yeah, you could just like pick a room out and yeah, chill there overnight or whatever.
When you're saying themes, I don't know, for some reason I was thinking like a Disney theme or fucking, you know what I mean? Like a pop culture type thing. Like you're talking about like environments like jungles and
Yeah,
yeah,
more like
stars
that.
and
Yeah.
ocean.
Okay, back then it was like that. Maybe now it's like maybe they do have Disney themes or whatever because that is popular now in Japan, right? So maybe they have that. But back then when I was going to these places, it wasn't like that.
Mm,
So
that sounds cool.
that makes me wonder. I'm gonna have to like look it up and see what kind of themes they have now.
Oh, I'm very interested. Please let me know. It just sounds cool, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. If you go off base, because at the time I was in Okinawa, Japan, if you go off base, and yeah, they have places like this. So you see like a lot of military guys going out there, or military gals going out there, because they want to have a little privacy. You know, sometimes they be in the barracks with all these guys or all these gals, and they want a little privacy. Yeah, they just go out off base and go hang out in one of these themed rooms and have fun.
Don't worry, we're gonna talk more about hotel rooms later and certain acts going on in them. I can't wait. But we're gonna stick to MMA still, and one more time we're gonna stick to the coronavirus. Although this is actually some good news, which I know is rare to hear good news and coronavirus in the same sentence. But our girl Angela Hill is being dope as she always is. She's auctioning off her fight gear, I believe from the last fight with the robbery with Gadelia.
Yeah.
She's auctioning it off, and the proceeds are gonna go to direct relief for COVID. So even having lost half her paycheck, losing to Gadelia, she's still uh, getting money and using it for other people. So very, very cool of her.
She's amazing. She's an amazing human being. I need to buy one of her shirts now that I know she has merch, and that merch is dope. She has Yoda.
You
Did you
know
see
what?
that?
It's not just for women, is it?
No,
Uh, I
no, it's
haven't
for
seen.
everybody. You haven't
You,
seen it?
no, you mentioned it to me, but yeah, you might have to send something over. I've actually been looking as of late because I have been working. I'm not super worried about my finances like some people in this country. Fortunately, I know people should save in general because there may be tough times ahead, but that's a different story. But I've really been looking at, given the climate, given how our economy is right now, I've really been looking at companies and like doing research as far as like where they're located, like if they have USA made stuff and how long they've been around, or there's some new company that's trying to do something new. Like I'm actually thinking about where my money's going to. Like I've not been buying off Amazon lately. Like shit, I'd rather go to like Walmart or Target before I go to Amazon right now. I've been trying to focus more on eBay on stuff at
Mhm.
Disney because I know that's mostly just like normal people or like very small businesses. So I've actually been proactive about where my money goes. And yeah, if Angela Hill has some stuff, I'm down for that. Even if it's a couple bucks extra than I would, like for like a regular shirt, then
Yeah,
getting it somewhere else. I'm down to spend an extra couple bucks right now to help out people that I know are going to help out the community and help out the country.
yeah. I wanted to get one from my kid and I usually do that every time I order shirts.
You get matching shirts?
Yeah, I get like a little, yeah. And I just store it. He hasn't worn any of the fighter shirts yet. Like I keep them because sometimes they do run really big. They don't have like kid size, so I'll get like size small or something. And
So you just save them?
I just save it for him.
One
Yeah. So when he
one
gets older,
day, one
yeah,
day, kid, yeah, this will be yours.
yeah. So I'll have all kinds of shirts from like local guys, and have some shirts from like Chris Cyborg and stuff like that. So yeah,
Well,
every
well,
time I pick something up, I always think about him.
that's smart too because you're basically investing in his future, as lame as that sounds, because especially once he starts going to like middle school or something, oh man, you gotta spend a couple $100 for a new wardrobe. It's like, hey, you already got like 6 shirts now, maybe
Yeah,
just buy him some pants and some shoes, and there you go. You're good to
yeah.
go.
Yeah, and he'll have like shirts that no other kid has, right? You'd be like
Yep.
original. So
And they may be vintage at that point. You may not even be able to find them even like on eBay and shit.
Yeah, so he can do whatever he wants. Like I'm a shirt collector. I have shirts that I've never worn before. So I wonder if he'll be the same because his mom was like that. Like I am such a t-shirt girl. You gave me a shirt. I have yet to wear it because that's just how I am. Like
Hmm.
certain shirts, I keep it and I keep it for a very long time. I keep it forever. I'm a shirt hoarder. If I love that shirt, keep it forever.
Damn, I'm honored. You've never even told me that. That's really cool.
No,
That's
I have it.
I'm actually flattered. That's really cool. I have so many fucking shirts myself too. Like I basically have a shirt for every concert I've been to, and I've been to basically over 30. And that's kind of all I wear. I have like basically like 90% of it's concert shirts, and like the other 5 to 10% is like bars I've been to, like bars I really like, and like fighter shirts. Like I have a KGB shirt. I have some shirts that I bought at UFC events, jiu-jitsu shirts. Like that's all I wear.
Yeah,
So that's all I
same.
have. So I definitely get it. And then even like some shirts that I've gotten that have unfortunately ripped or they're a little beaten up, like I've given some to my lady, and even the ones that I either want to keep, I've been thinking of just like tearing them up and using like the design and putting it like on my wall or on my bar. So yeah, I try to. I don't even want to make a. Most people get an old shirt and they just use it as like a rag or as a mop. Like nah. The ones especially with the concert ones, I want to keep them around in one way.
Yeah, with my really old ones, I ended up like wearing them as PJs or something.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Yeah, I'll
makes
do
sense.
that. So yeah, I love shirts. So y'all know I love shirts. If you want to send me a shirt, just let me know.
Yeah, just as a little token of appreciation for get yes, we were off for a month. You had to give us some time, but basically we've been at this shit for a year and a half now, so little appreciation would be nice. And yeah, we don't ask for much. A shirt, little shit like that would be cool, man.
Yeah, seriously, we'll advertise it, or
Yeah.
I'll just save it if I like, it just happens like that. I'm like, I'll just tuck this away. Maybe I'll wear it later, and I end up never wearing it. And most of my shirts are black because they always just come in black.
Yeah, I've
So
had that same problem. Yeah, I usually I'm like when I see like a gray shirt or something, I'm like, yeah, I got it. I'll be honest. Then I always, as a kid, when I was like in high school, I hated any man that wore a pink shirt. At one of the last concerts I went to, they actually had like colorful shirts. And what they weren't just all black, and I ended up getting a pink one. Granted,
oh,
I was a little drunk, and the lighting was kind of weird. I thought it was kind of like a light gray, and then I get home, I realized it's pink, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna wear it. It's still
it ended up
interesting.
being what, pink?
Yeah, it's pink.
You
It's
thought
just
it was
straight up
gray?
pink. I thought it was like gray because it was late at night and we were in an outdoor venue. The lighting was kind of weird, and I didn't know till I got home. Like, oh shit, it's pink. I'm like, fuck it, I'll wear it. It is a man shirt. It's not a it's not a woman shirt, but yeah, I still wear
Oh,
it from time to
oh,
time.
that's hilarious. That's a great story.
Yeah, and it's
Awesome.
an Arcade Fire shirt too, so it looks even weirder and hipster, especially on my fat body. It's like, what the fuck is that kid up to? But hey,
Awesome.
I did find it funny, so I kept it and I own it. Enough of the Rona news, though. And there's not really a good segue to either of the stories, so we'll just. They're both kind of just. Actually, I don't even know what to name, what to bring up with these stories. So basically, the other stories that were rounding out this batch of headlines. Colby Covington is officially out of American Top Team. There's just a lot of rumors and hearsay. He says the split was amicable, and guys like Masvidal saying that he basically ran out because he was getting scared and worried. And it's tough to know what happened, but at the end of the day, I'm not surprised it did. I'm not surprised it happened, but he has been pretty vague too about who he's actually training with or who he's planning to train with. It sounds like he's still trying to get a team together. And I'm really interested to know who he might work with.
Me too. They haven't announced that yet. I've been like trying to look all over for it to see where he's gonna land. But I guess that's a good thing that he left too, right? Because if he does stick around, he might fight Jorge at one point.
I mean, I think they would have fought even if he was still at ATT, but it could have been ugly. Like they could have,
Yes.
they could have like legit just fucking got at each other in the parking lot. Well, Colby wouldn't have got at him, but I know Jorge would, and
Yeah.
shit, Poirier might have got involved and some of the Brazilians. It could have got real ugly, man.
Yeah, so maybe that was the reason why. Like,
He still said, I mean, and it's rare for Kobe to say anything good about anybody, but he still said he really respects Dan Lambert and he owes him a lot. And,
right. Yeah.
so
With that being said, yeah, I kind of believe that it's just, yeah, a good split, part ways. We're still good.
I remember Lambert, we talked about it. I think even like Ben Duffy brought it up to us that he was saying like, yeah, he thinks that Dan Lambert's the one bringing the peace there, like forcing it basically. He's basically the father figure and the teacher saying like, hey, apologize to each other and hug it out type thing, and if this should continue, especially with the way that Kobe is, just tell him like, hey, probably just better you leave because these motherfuckers ain't playing, man. they're gonna get at you.
Yeah. And those training sessions, they just get a little bit harder and harder. And
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I remember. I think somebody came on the Joe Rogan podcast once. I forget who it was. I don't know if it was a coach or a fighter, but he was saying something that he this was whoever this guy was, said that him either being the coach or this person's coach, was pretty concerned about head trauma. He didn't like his guys to go like super hard. So what he'd do is he would have the students, the fighters, basically like shadow box with each other, like shadow spar. Like they'd like fight basically at like 3-4 feet apart where you can't hit one another, and they would just go round by round, like 4 or 5 rounds. And he would just kind of let them go at their own pace, and then he realized slowly after a couple minutes, like, okay, it went from shadow sparring to like very light sparring, like just like patty cake. Then after that, it went to kind of like a little bit more aggressive. And then by the end of like the third, fourth round or whatever, they were like basically like actually like fighting. But he didn't mind it because it's not like they were going full out for 3-4 rounds. There was just a couple minutes out of one of the rounds that they actually ended up like actually going at each other kind of hard. Like I'd rather have them go like that and gradually build to it than just go all out, AKA style for 3 minutes for 3 rounds or whatever.
Right. That is actually smart.
Yeah, yeah, and I've known coaches that have done the shadow sparring thing. Like it's very rare. I guess it has its values here and there, but to just build it up like that, it's like yeah, do what you want. I know you're gonna fight anyway, but this way it's at least more controlled. You're not just gonna go full all the way into it. And then people are different too. You spar with one guy and he's pretty respectful and goes light, and then the other guy thinks that it's a real fight. And at that point, you really have to fight him because you can't back down at that point, and no one's gonna save you.
Mm-mm. I
You
hate
didn't ask
people
for
like
this,
that.
and you didn't ask for this, and all of a sudden you're in a fight, and
Mm-hmm.
you just got to get yourself in that mode, and then you got to get off of it to train again with someone else who's probably smaller, weaker, and not as skilled as you, and you got to turn it off somehow. It's anybody that's trained kind of knows what we're talking about, but
Yeah, it's difficult from going from training partner to training partner.
oh, and with you, Rain, I'm sure must suck extra hard, given that you're a woman and guys get these weird ideas, like
Yeah, I'm
go
the
way
only.
too soft or totally unaware that you're sparring a woman and you shouldn't go that hard. And
Yeah,
yeah,
it's always like that. It's like it's not balanced sometimes. It's
no,
either one side or the other. Either really too soft, where it's not really helping me, progress further, to where it's just you're smashing me, man. I'm not learning shit.
yeah, because you're just scared and you're just fighting out of fear, like
Yeah, yeah. I'm
yeah,
trying to just get out of positions and not go into panic mode and
yeah,
tap that fast because you're fucking smothering me, man. You're
yeah,
literally trying to kill me, and I'm trying to
yeah.
survive. I mean, and then we're going round by round. You get a little small break, and we're just like switching partners. And
Yeah.
I'm still trying to like catch my breath from the last mauling. Yeah, it's hard, man. So
See,
just
listen, fellas, I know Reen doesn't speak for all women, but just to get a woman's perspective on this, because I really think it's pretty silent. I don't think a lot of girls want to speak about that, but most women that are in the sport spar with mostly men, so It is something for men to consider because it's always going to be an awkward thing.
No.
Hmm.
Yeah. You just try not to be a bitch and just put a smile on your face and be like, all right, who's next? You
Hmm.
have to, especially in front of all the guys. So, yep. Don't show weakness. Don't show no weakness.
Sorry. Next up, lastly, with the headlines, it's not really a headline, more of just a topic to discuss. John Jones, Francis Ngannou, and I guess furthermore, and similarly, Kamaru Usman and his various scheduled opponents. So John Jones and Francis Ngannou are not going to fight. I never held much belief that this fight was going to happen regardless, but the fans really seem to entertain the idea. It would have been a fun fight. I wouldn't have been, I wouldn't have been against it, but it just didn't end up happening. According to Dana, they were asking for too much money. Jones says that he isn't asking for too much money, but obviously that's John Jones, and believe what you want at your own peril. And then it seems like Kamaru Usman's coming from a similar story, that Masvidal saying that Usman wanted a bunch of money, and Usman saying that Masvidal and Connor and these guys are backing off of fights. I know this is nothing new in MMA, especially in the UFC, but I don't know, Reen, do you think given the climate, given the pandemic, given the really shady signs of our economy, and especially Endeavor, do you think it's smart for the fighters to be doing this?
To what? To be not taking fights?
To negotiate, if we're taking their word for it or the UFC's word for it, to like negotiate for a lot of money. And then we saw this with Cejudo too. I mean, it looked like he actually retired, according to Dana,
Yeah.
but we all know that he was just trying to leverage for more money.
Why wouldn't you want to negotiate more money? Especially like you're in the middle of a pandemic. You are putting yourself at risk in the first place. Why wouldn't you? And then there isn't a lot of fighters that are available, right? So why wouldn't you try to negotiate if you can? Why not? Especially if they want to like make sure that they fulfill this contract with Disney. Of course. What wouldn't you? I would.
Yeah, no, I'm not exactly criticizing the fighters of saying like, "Oh, this is a terrible idea," and don't ask for more money. Of course, the fighter should make more money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, obviously, there's a lot of things that play here, and the most likely outcome of all this is they're gonna be like, "Fuck no, you're crazy."
Mm-hmm.
And I guess if you're playing the long game, I guess especially someone like John Jones and maybe even Francis Ngannou, and I guess Usman too. Well, all these guys, Usman, Cejudo, they're all champions, former champions, or in the case of Ngannou, really exciting. A very exciting heavyweight that a lot of people want to see. Maybe they're in a more fortunate position to sit out. Maybe they wouldn't mind it. Maybe they
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't mind it because they probably don't. You're right. Maybe they don't want to fight in this pandemic. But I just have a hard time seeing what the UFC is actually going to do right now, because with some of the fights we've been talking about and that we're going to talk about, this weekend's card is actually really, really goddamn good. But we're kind of looking up, and we're going to talk about some fights coming up in a bit right now. But like that Felicia Spencer Amanda Nunes card wasn't looking so good until just like a week ago. So I don't know. I also feel like the UFC is just kind of scrambling to find fighters sometimes. Like I don't know how many fighters are eager to fight, and how many of the contracts they're actually trying to fulfill. Because they do have to offer fights to all the fighters. But if they
Right.
keep saying no, because it's like, well, shit, I still don't want to fight. I don't know if it's safe, which I don't think a lot of fighters are doing because they don't seem like those type. Because they seem to have a certain belief of stuff. But yeah, I wonder. I wonder how this is going to work in the long run too, because we all know arenas are not going to be filled for quite some time. How long can the UFC and NBA and NFL and all of they're not going to suffer, but like the UFC, how long can they survive on just no fans on exclusive streaming and pay-per-views?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, given what's been going on this past weekend with Memorial Day and whatnot, who knows? Who knows what kind of cases we're going to see? So,
Just
how
to
many
give you
fighters
some.
will be available? Huh?
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, who knows how many fighters will be available? Because we're not gonna know until about 2 weeks from now what our caseload looks like. God, I
Just
don't want to talk about it, but we keep going back to it. I'm sorry.
well, no, I mean, because this is basically talking about economics. Yeah, we're talking about fighter pay and negotiations and stuff, but you can't not factor into this, especially with sports. But just to give a little, like my personal perspective, I think what I talked about on podcast months ago, pre-pandemic, I was gonna go to a show. I believe it was March 15th, which is literally like when most of the country shut down. I was supposed to go to a concert that day, and it got postponed like 2 or 3 days before the event. It got postponed to the end of May. I should have gone to the show. I think last weekend is when it was scheduled, and it got postponed again now till the end of May of next year. And I basically already asked for a refund because it's gonna be those things like I don't know how I enjoy it. I don't know what the rules are gonna be. And the more I thought about it, honestly, even though it's a year away and things should be looking up at that point, even if everything's okay, I may just not feel it. I may just not want to go. And to tell you the truth, this is just my personal thing. I am by no means an anti-vaxxer, and I know practically the way that this is going to work out, it shouldn't affect me anyway. But if there is a vaccine, I don't want to be the first one in line. I don't think I'm going to be first one in line regardless because of my age. I think it's going to go to older citizens most likely and at risk people. I think I'll be one of the last ones if that is the case, but I'm not. I don't know. It's like the same thing with like a video game console or a phone. I'm not gonna be the first one in line because shit can be weird, and I don't want to be the first one dealing with all these problems. And I kind of put that same logic towards the vaccine. Like I'm not. You're not gonna come tell me like, oh, I'm gonna line up outside the clinic to get my coronavirus vaccine. I'm gonna wait a bit. So the more and more I thought about it, I'm like, nah, I'd rather just not go.
Yeah, smart.
And that's a year away. I mean, theoretically, everything should be good by then.
We hope.
Yeah, again, in theory.
Praying, yeah. So, I mean, if they would have put this fight together anyways, do you think people will really watch?
I think it depends when and where. Well, not so much where, but when. Obviously, this will be a pay-per-view of some kind, but I've been thinking about International Fight Week a lot because, especially now, in regards with like Usman, everyone said it was going to be Usman and Masvidal, which would have been a gigantic fight for International Fight Week, with or without fans. But it kind of takes away the whole thing of International Fight Week because people come from all over the world to watch fights and take pictures and get autographs and all that stuff. And obviously, none of that's going to happen this year. So I guess, I don't know, is it one of those things, do you just do it like as another fight night, or do you just do it as just some random pay-per-view? Because International Fight Week isn't even going to exist this year.
I think like fight night, would people really pay pay-per-view to see them fight? I mean, maybe Francis, because he has been redeeming himself again.
Oh, Ngannou's, I don't want to say Ngannou's a star, but people know he is, especially because, like with the Rosenstruck fight, he's a world star favorite. Like people see that, casuals see that, like, damn, this gigantic, strong ass black dude and knocks fucking people dead. I could get behind that. That's all they need.
Yeah, so he's been doing great lately, performing unlike the Derek fight. And then John Jones, like, it's intriguing. Like, can he handle it? Will he get knocked out as soon as Francis touches him? I'm kind of curious too, because who knows what's going on with Stipe and DC. I mean, DC still wants that fight. And then Francis is still there.
I don't think people need to count Stipe out. And I'm not saying this, with all due respect, I'm not saying this to insult the man. Actually, the complete opposite. Tremendous respect to the guy, because he's putting his well-being more at risk. He says, I'd rather just be a firefighter right now because I'd rather help people. And fully knowing, like, objectively speaking, being a firefighter right now is probably most likely more dangerous than being a cage fighter. And he's still doing it. And I don't even mean about the risk of just the danger of being a firefighter, but, coming into contact with people.
Yeah.
Hospitals and shit like that. Like, that dude's a legit hero, man. That dude he was put on this earth to save people, but he's also just happens to be really fucking good at fighting.
Yep. Amazing. So, I mean,
I
I
think you
hope
could
they
take his
don't.
belt away and he won't care like at all.
Yeah, he won't. But it would be fucked up if they did.
But people don't care about Stipe. That's the fucked up thing. They'll be like, oh, whatever. He deserves it. He didn't want to fight. He's saving
No,
people's
can't be like
lives.
that.
Saving
Yeah, it
people's
can't be
lives.
like
But,
that.
fuck him. He's a pussy. He doesn't want to fight.
Oh my god, come on, man.
Oh, they're like that. Trust me.
Fucking assholes. You gotta respect your firefighters.
Well,
Seriously,
obviously
firefighters.
you would say that.
Okay. Yeah, my daddy was a firefighter in the Air Force in the state of California, so I know how it is. I respect the Stipe, even though I've talked shit about him too. But that was because of fighting. I totally respect him for what he's doing right now. So please don't strip him.
See, respect for your elders and respect for your first responders, people. Come on. I guess we'll leave the conversation there though regarding the money aspect of this because yeah, you make a really good point. You should be negotiating for more money given how gloomy the situation might be. And I guess at the end of the day, obviously the fighters had nothing to do with Endeavor's shitty undertakings and financial management decisions for them to be in the spot they've been in. It took them years of shitty decisions to be where they're at. But obviously, being where they're not at all inclined to give any extra money to anybody ever. Although, if you follow the rules of decency and good capitalism, you should give them money because you're going to get something in return. But obviously, that's not the way the world is right now.
Nope.
We can go on for hours about that, and I'll just stop myself before I get too far along. So, enough about headlines. We're going to get into the matchup segment. And the biggest matchup, which is, I guess, to be decided in many respects, it has not been officially confirmed, but it looks like, in all probability, is what they're going to do. Jose Aldo and Peter Yan will fight for the recently officially vacated title of Henry Cejudo's bantamweight title at a location and date to be determined. Do you think that Dana had this in the bag the whole time? Do you think Aldo's the guy that he wanted the whole time?
I thought he said no, he didn't. Never mind.
No, he said
I
Jan and somebody. Jan was the guarantee.
Yeah.
It was
Yes.
Dan's partner that we didn't know.
Yeah. I thought he said Sterling too, but you're right. Yeah. It should have been Sterling.
He don't like Sterling. He's never liked Sterling. Sterling's fighting who now? Sanhagen, no?
That's the fight I think they want to make.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense now. I don't know why. Why? Are they trying to make Yan a name? Is this why?
Maybe. Do you think maybe because like Khabib too, since he's such a big star now, it's like we need more Russian. But like the same way, like once they found out that Anderson Silva was so popular, like they try to make like so many guys, Junior Dos Santos and Verdum and all these guys to become like the next Brazilian star.
Maybe. It didn't make sense that he was going to fight Cejudo in the first place. You know, Cejudo versus Aldo. That didn't make sense.
Yeah, they just double down.
Yeah, so now, like, what? Like, Aldo's still in the picture somehow? I don't know, man. The only thing I can think of is that maybe they're just trying to push Jan's star power, see what they can do.
He's coming off a big win of Faber, and I know Faber's not exactly who he once was, but he still has that name. Beating Faber is always pretty big for your career, I guess, even at this point.
I don't know if this has anything to do with the two, but just the fact that Jose fought McGregor and that ties too, and I don't know. It's just a strange matchup because I would think like maybe if it wasn't Sterling, maybe Marlon would be in the picture.
Yeah, and you've mentioned the thing with Aldo before too, and I don't know if I was all the way on board with that before, but yeah, I think that's what they go off of. Aldo will always be tied to McGregor in one way or another, so they kind of think that that's the way to sell him.
It's possible.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, I think it's a great fight. I just don't see it going well for Aldo. Maybe it's just because of the Volkanovski fight or possible brain damage, or I don't know. Just Jan is such a killer.
Hmm.
I think he really is kind of like the new Aldo. I mean, he doesn't have like the leg kicks exactly, but he reminds me of him in some ways.
Yeah. We'll see. Bantamweight, right? He's going back down
Yes.
again.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the
That's,
second fight. I mean, he looked okay against Moraes. He looked pretty good, but Jan's a different animal.
and has he been preparing for this? His coach isn't feeling well.
Hmm.
Wonder where his headspace is at.
Especially because he looks at Pederneiras as not even a father figure, basically as his father. I think Aldo's father died when he was very young, so he kind of took up the mantle.
Right. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and in other news, well, we'll talk about that more, I guess, when it becomes more official because there's been almost nothing on it. But two women's fights, really good ones too. Tisha Torres is gonna be fighting Brianna Van Buren, and ooh, oh my god, this is gonna be such a great fight. And I love Tisha, but I think Brianna's gonna mop the floor with her.
I think so too. I love Tisha, but I think she's gonna get mauled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I feel bad for Misha for Tisha here, because she's been taking on really good girls. They have not given her any easy fights at all, and she's only been losing to killers. But that's all she's been given too is just killers. So I know they're saying, well, Van Buren's young and she's a prospect. Let's see if she can get it done. But I really think Van Buren's the real deal. I think she has been. I think she's just gonna further prove it on June 20th when they're supposed to fight.
Yeah, I think so too. Just that competition, that the tournament she fought in, fought three people in one night.
Mm-hmm.
She's been wanting to fight too.
Yeah.
So she got a lot of energy. Seems like Tisha is now like the gatekeeper.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's exactly what she is.
Yeah.
And if she loses this one, I don't know how they keep her around, especially now that it seems like they're eager to make cuts, as many companies are.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe they'll keep her around. Hopefully she could turn around soon. Maybe not this fight, but soon. I mean, she's a favorite, right? I mean, all those girls are Dana's favorite. Raquel, Tisha, Amanda. Well, kind of Amanda now, but
Well, yeah.
it's
She beat the woman he hated most, Cyborg.
yeah. So it's like you're my champion in two divisions, but I'm still looking at you with the side eye.
Yeah, remember that one time you pulled out of a fight because your head hurt? You fucking wimp.
Right? But yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Regardless, so this is going to be a good fight, like Van Buren and
yeah.
Torres. So
On a side note, just because you brought that up, I'd pay big money if I had fuck you money. I'd pay so much money for Amanda Nunes. Like, I'd pay her enough money for her to like retire comfortably if she could just knock the fuck out of Dana, because you know she could.
knock this shit out of him. That's
Yeah.
awesome, huh?
Hey, he let Nate Diaz slap him. I'm sure you think, oh, I could take a punch from her. No, you can't.
I don't know, man. He got that busted eardrum, right?
Oh, that's right. He'll just go down. Just equilibrium will be all off.
Uh huh.
Dude,
So,
I think she ruptured Kat's eardrum when they fought. I think that was a big reason why she got fucked up for a while after that fight.
oh God.
Yeah, she's no joke, man.
Oh, so she has a history of this. Yeah, Dana would
Yeah.
go down. He wouldn't
You,
survive.
you know how tough Kat is, and she said like she and Misha too. They're both tough ass women. They're like she hits like a fucking man. Like that shit is no joke.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Especially Misha too. God damn, that girl's been in some wars.
Mm-hmm. And then she was like, "Nah, I'm out. Count me out here. They ain't paying me enough for this shit. I don't blame her." Last bit of news, not the greatest matchup, but it brought up some funny cringy moments. Jessica I is getting her first headlining spot against Cynthia Calvillo. Oh,
Damn,
God,
you can't even say what the what without even laughing.
dude, I I mean, I kind of had a thing with Just Bleed MMA tweeted like, "Oh, I remember people were getting all mad at how come women don't headline events, and the day they finally do, they start shitting on them." Like, because this fight sucks. I'm like, this shows that the equality has happened. I think the equality has been cemented with Wiley and Joanna. I think that was the moment people would look back in a few years and be like, that was when it stopped being MMA and women's MMA. It just became a thing. Women are here and they're capable of amazing fights just like the men. By that same token, they're also capable of some very shitty fights. And there's been a thing with, especially with women's MMA Twitter and the women's MMA, just you don't really want to talk shit about some female fighters because it's like, hey, we're in this together, you know. And I was like that for a while too. I try not to talk shit, but in this case, it's like there's so many great fights you could put with women on top of it. That doesn't even have to be for a title. Like even Torres and Van Buren, I know nobody knows who they are really, but that's a hell of a great fight. And it actually means something. These girls are like top contenders and nobody gives a shit and it's going to mean very little.
That's sad too, man, because we were complaining about wanting to see fights. We're getting all these cards, they're racking it all up, they're trying to figure this all out. Who can come in? What fighters are available? Okay, let's put this on the docket. All right, we got a headliner. Everybody's shitting on it.
Not good.
Like, come on! Like, what do you want? We have fights. Like, just give it to them. I'll watch it, but come on. I mean, hopefully she won't do that cringy ass chant again. Part 2, don't do it. Part 1 was a flop. Don't do part 2.
No, I don't think she'll learn. I have a feeling she'll do it again. I really do. I don't want her to, but I think she will.
Well, she says she's going to be champion one day, so.
And I met Jessica. Every time I see her, I'm like, fuck, I met her. She seemed okay, but shit started going south real quick.
Oh, God. I think Calvillo's going to beat the shit out of her.
I don't know. Jessica's a weird fighter, man. I know she's not like the most fundamentally sound, but she's won a lot of weird decisions lately, before the Shevchenko fight. And I don't know. I guess I'm not fully on board with Calvillo striking. And I know Jessica's not like this power puncher that can knock her out or fuck her up, but I think at this weight class she's pretty big and strong, so she can probably avoid the ground game and probably like outstrike her. That's like the only way I can really see this happening. Like I haven't put too much thought into it.
Well, just the way she was knocked out, I wonder if she's gonna be a little hesitant and just fighting, a little brawler like Calvillo. She's not going to respect her whatsoever. She's not going to be able to find her footing there. She's not going to give her any chances. So I wonder how that's going to go.
I think I fought after the
Did she?
Shevchenko fight. Right? Yeah, she fought.
That's right. Else. She did get one win, huh?
I forget who it was.
Was that a gimme fight? I can't remember. I gotta look at it.
No, I don't remember too well. But yeah, she did get another
horrible.
one. But yeah, well, yeah. But I mean, the point is, if she made it through that, I think she's kind of recovered. And I don't think Calvillo's gonna have the power to knock her out or anything. But
no, but she's just so feisty.
Yeah.
Plus,
we'll see.
She didn't get her hands on what's her face, Claudia. So she's been wanting to
that'll
fight.
happen. Well, I don't know. I don't know about anymore because of 125.
Yeah. She fought Vivian. I forgot about that.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Decent fight, I guess. I mean, she beat her. I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're like, man.
Still not impressed, even though she beat a girl we really like, but whatever. Sorry. But that does it for MMA. Let's get into our news story of the week. And headline is: sex workers recommend reverse cowgirl to prevent spread of coronavirus. This is out of Switzerland, where prostitution is legal. they've been shut down for a while, and they're opening back up, including the brothels again, since prostitution is legal. And I guess these are some guidelines that some of the sex workers were bringing up, and they think that this is the one of the ways to go about it. Reverse cowgirl, since you're not fucking face to face. Oh, and doggy style too, because obviously you're not face to face in that one either. And they're gonna be wearing masks too. I forgot about that. They're gonna be wearing masks. I don't know if the men have to wear masks, but the sex workers are.
Oh my god. Okay. I mean, if you're wearing a gas mask and you're doing reverse, yeah, cowgirl, I guess that'll work, right? If you're wearing a face mask, like a full-on gas mask or something, not just a regular, right? Because everything's covered up, so that would probably work. But if it's just like the cloth mask or something like that, when you don't even have your eyes closed, like that's scary, dude. And I guess guys would do it, huh? They'd still want to seek it out. You're right. Yeah, never mind. I was gonna say like during this time, do you still want to go around and go to these places? I guess some guys would.
I will say this as a 30-year-old man who's in a relationship and happily so, and have matured a bit. No, I would not do this. But 18, 20-year-old me didn't necessarily believe in protection. So I've done some crazy shit in my time. If I was younger, yeah, I I may fucking book a trip. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I'm not gonna go with bitch science here. Sex worker science, whatever you want to call it.
Ho science.
Yeah, ho science. You know, it's just like bro science. I'm not gonna go with that. Yeah. Not going with that. I'm just gonna play it safe. You know, just go with what the New York officials are saying. You know, masturbation is the safest way to avoid it. So I'm just gonna stick with that. Good luck to the sex workers. Hopefully they won't catch anything or spread anything. We had issues with salon workers at Great Clips, and they were just cutting hair. So I can only imagine what's going to happen once this all, starts to happen down there. So, or up there, Switzerland. Sorry.
Yeah.
I keep thinking it's Brazil for some reason.
Well, kept talking about it.
Yeah.
This puts me in a weird spot with the New York City officials talking about that masturbation is the safest way. And one part of me wants to give them credit because it's like, well, at least they're not going full fundamentalist Christian and saying like abstinence only because they know that it won't work. So at least they'll give us that, that pleasure of a little tugging, little fingering, whatever. But they denounced acts like rim jobs. And you know what? I don't want to live in a country where I no. In America, people eat ass, and I think if there's anything you're gonna protest, fucking protest that. Like Fauci, give me my right to eat ass again.
Are you gonna have a mask on?
Fuck no. Well, maybe I'll get one of those masks where they're the ones that they're selling now. That invention that you can open it, where you can eat with it. In that case, I'll probably buy one.
Oh shit!
Hey, my nose is covered. Can't get into it. I'm being safe.
Huh. As long as you're being safe. Okay. Let me know how that goes. Have you seen the mask with the straw? That little straw opening?
Oh, God, no.
Yeah. If I find, I'll send it to you.
I try not to even look at those because I swear to God, I feel like if we keep going down this way, companies are going to start requiring those. Like, no, we don't even want you to eat. Like, fucking, you got to wear that shit 24/7. At that point, I might just become a full-on fucking right-winger and be like, yep, I want my rights back. Open everything up. Fuck it. Burn it down. I don't give a shit.
Oh,
Fuck
my
that,
God.
man. Let me enjoy my goddamn meal. Whether it's, actual food or ass, just let me do it.
You probably go ass first because it's been a while.
Oh, don't remind me, Reen.
Oh, God.
Rough times for all. I'm not going to complain. Huh. Hey, last week you ended with your bit, so this week I'll end with mine. So,
all right.
It's fair.
Yep. You're right.
And good luck to all the Swiss sex workers out there. I hope you're all good. I hope you stay safe, and
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully those guys understand the rules. I still
Yeah.
want you girls to make money, but stay safe. See
Yep.
what happens.
Yep.
Got to be positive at the end of this shit.
Yep. We'll talk to you in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, we'll see. Hey, Switzerland doesn't even worry about a fucking army, man. They don't even have armed forces, so they're a bit of a weird country. So they'll figure it out somehow, probably. And of course, they're banks. You know, they got money. They got money.
Yeah, that's true.
So just throw money at it; it'll solve the problem.
I was about to say, like, we try to shoot the virus. They be like throwing money at it.
Fuck it, why not? Doing more than we fucking are, that's for sure.
Oh,
Anyway,
goodness.
enough coronavirus politics and fucking ass eating and MMA for one episode. That's it. That's it for tonight. I want to thank you guys for listening. We have some stuff along the way. Rian and I have been talking about some ideas. We don't want to really bring them, take them out the bag yet because it's a lot of contemplating, a lot of speculating right now. But once we have something nailed down, we will let you guys know. It should be fun. Keep an eye out on the social media. We'll keep you guys posted. And speaking of social media, you can find me at Juice_MMA. Reen.
Fox with you on Twitter and Instagram.
And you can follow the podcast at iFoxWithJuice, also on Twitter and Instagram. We're on iTunes, Spreaker, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are, you can find us. So follow us there, share, post, comment, like, whatever you got to do. And we'll catch you all next week. Later.
See ya.